Welcome to the Kill Shot MMA podcast presented by DFS Army. I'm Sniper. With me as Monk, we got UFC Fight Night Fiziev versus Torres coming at you from UFC. Well, obviously, Osman is also UFC Baku coming at you from Baku, Azerbaijan. What that means for you betting or playing on DraftKings, 9 a.m. start time. That is when lock is. That is when prelims start. Make sure you know that. And if you're on DraftKings, get your lineup set. This show, we talk DraftKings strategy, pick fights, point out a few bets. Been on a nice little run as of late, which is good. The year we started off super hot. Then, admittedly, we got a little cold, and we are clearly back on the upswing. So that is nice to see. Monk, how did you enjoy your last week? And are you ready for UFC Baku?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. We did have a good card. It was like, okay, so the July card, the Freedom 250 card was 2 weeks ago. That thing, wow. I mean, production value off the charts. What a card. Last week, decent card. Nice main event. I mean, a couple of the fights left a little to be desired, but we still did well. We got to see Bia Mesquita, of course. Everyone loves to, I'm just interested to see who is going to even, compete with her, really. But I guess we'll find out someday.
See, I was solo last week, and you watched the fight, right? Because I told everybody that Melissa Mullins was super live.
Yeah.
And she hurt Bia Mesquita
Yep.
bad on the feet. And if she doesn't make the mistake of going into her guard, things get real interesting. I don't think Mesquita is unbeatable. I think you saw real. It's almost like Rodolfo Vieira. Just don't get taken down, and you're fine.
Exactly. So yeah, that
was jumping her guard. That was bad too.
Yeah, it was a few good fights, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the pay-per-view in 2 weeks, but we got to get through this first. Not gotta, we get to. So 9 a.m. card. We're gonna try to hit you with the info.
Yeah, this is a little bit hit or miss. There are some good fights on the card. There are some fights I'm not too excited about. Not a terrible fight night card. I think what you expect from a standard fight night. A couple sleepers, couple fights. The second prelim should be on the main card, by the way. We'll get there in a second. Some weird ordering, but overall, Let's find some spots. Let's find some DraftKings plays. Let's find some bets. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. And also, we record these on Thursday night. Monk and I mean, we got a little more than an hour, but I want to leave us a little bit of time. But we got to get to USA versus Turkey on tonight. If you're not watching the World Cup, you're missing out. That being said, I think we're ready now. Tahir Abdullaev taking on Jefferson Nascimento. This is one of the pick'em fights on the card. The line is flipped a little bit because Jefferson Nascimento is now the small, tiny, it's a pick'em fight, minus 115 favorite, and he's priced at 7,900 on DraftKings. Abdullaev, minus 105, 8,300 on DraftKings. A little bit of odds value on Nascimento. Personally, I think is negligible. Your fight ends inside the distance. Prop is at minus 110. Monk, it's your first time seeing the fancy new graphics. You can look right there in addition to all your other stats. What do you got for this fight? Although I doubt you have stats because both these guys are making their promotional debut.
Yeah, pretty much. Do love the graphics, though. Absolutely love them, for sure. Yeah, it's Abdullaev got 16 finishes and 21 wins. He has lost 3 times. Nascimento unbeaten at 13-0, and he's had actually decent competition. I'm not surprised about the line. He's got 8 finishes in 13 of those wins. So he's got oh, sorry, I reversed that. I said that backwards. I forgot the line had flipped, so I thought Tahir was on the left side. Tahir has all the finishes. He's got 16 finishes, and Nascimento with 8. So I like both guys are live. 50-50 is probably right, but honestly, looking at Tapology, I mean, Jefferson was in LFA. He's fought guys with decent records overall. If they're not winners, they're 7-7. They're 11-4. They got decent records. They're not what we would usually refer to as cans. So not much to say here. I got to pick Jefferson Nascimento, though. I understand the line movement.
Yeah, if you're in LFA and you're the champion and you've defended the belt twice, you're not can crushing. And to be fair, Abdullaev's record for somebody in Europe is not that bad. There's a couple cans in there, but a couple decent wins, a lot of fights, a lot of experience. He's the hometown fighter as well. That's why he's on the card. He's from Azerbaijan. It's an interesting fight. I've seen much more padded records coming into the UFC, especially in that part of the world. Sometimes it can be hard to find fights if you are a winning fighter. It happens. That being said, skill for skill, watching tape, I do think Nascimento is a little bit cleaner, should have the overall advantage. I don't think Abdullaev is going to be able to bully him. I'm not sure about a finish. I kind of think that Nascimento is going to be able to use his takedown defense, keep it on the feet, win close striking exchanges. That worries me a little bit in terms of draft, in terms of the bet and scoring. That's why for me this fight is a pass, because if it's going to go to the judges, man, in Azerbaijan, who knows what we're going to get? I'm sure they're bringing judges over, but you never know with judges in general. It's two debutante fighters. Everything screams kind of like not just play this one cautious. And there's a lot of high inside the distance prop fights on this card, especially in the mid-range. You don't need to mess around with this one. To me, this feels mostly like a pass, but based on what I've seen, if I had to tell you who I think is going to be better, it would be the LFA champion, Jefferson Nascimento. Bekzat Almakhan taking on Jean Matsumoto. What the fuck is this fight doing as the second fight of the card? This is a really high-level fight. One of the ones I'm more interested in watching, honestly, in terms of impact to the division. Jean Matsumoto is minus 152. Bekzat Almakhan, he is, it's right there, it's plus 132. Bekzat's 7,800 on DraftKings. Jefferson is 8,400. One of the few fight ends inside the distance props that is plus on this card, plus 135. But what makes it interesting is that Bekzat is going to be shooting for those takedowns. Jean Matsumoto, it can be hit or miss when it comes to that. Monk, who do you got?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to pick John Matsumoto, though. I just think he's overall probably the more well-rounded and maybe, just outright say it, the better fighter overall. We'll see about that because Almakhan has not had a ton of time to really prove himself. I mean, Nurmagomedov fight, we know what happened there. He beats Katona in 1 minute, and then he goes all 3 rounds with the older Topuria.
Who took him down twice, by the way.
Almakhan has had 1 takedown attempt in the UFC, and that was against Topuria. Granted, you don't have a lot of time when you're facing Umar Nurmagomedov to do that or having a 1-minute fight with Brad Katona, but he also only landed 39 strikes. So his defense is not looking good. His offensive stats are just terrible because, as I just explained, he hasn't done anything outside of the Katona fight. And that's not necessarily his fault, but we'll have to see what happens here in his 4th fight. Matsumoto also has suspect defense, mostly in the striking because of how many strikes he takes at 5.41. He also has a 56% takedown defense, which is going to be a problem here if Almakhan decides, as he should, to shoot for takedowns, because Matsumoto sure is. He lands 1 takedown on average per 5 minutes, controls about half the grappling time as well, and lands about as many strikes as he absorbs. So he's no joke. Very high volume for the most part, especially as the fight goes on. Kind of a slow starter. Last thing I'll say here is Matsumoto in round 1, 3 strikes a minute, 2/3 of a takedown, and 1.25 control time minutes. Round 2, it goes up 86%. Takedowns go up 150%. Round 3, strikes go up all the way to 7.6. So he loves to get going a little bit later. Almakhan seems to be difficult to finish. I like Matsumoto here in a somewhat close fight, but remember, he does not always score well for DraftKings, rather.
Yeah, DraftKings, I think it's mostly a pass because Matsumoto, if you want MMA math, Geek would love this one. You know that Matsumoto beat Katona by decision, and Bekzat, what did that fight have? That was a knockout, right?
Yeah, still, that was like a 1 minute.
Yeah, so if you like MMA math, you're all about Bekzat here. I don't think so. Yeah. In that Matsumoto to me has improved as he's been in the UFC. Yes, he can get taken down, but he took down Rob Font, who I know is a terrible takedown defense, but he took him down 7 times. Did lose that fight, but that was his 4th UFC fight. Miles Johns, he won by split decision, who's a great wrestler. Miles Johns got him down 5 times, but I don't think there was a ton of control time in that fight. Yeah, 3 minutes of control time on all the takedowns. Like he's able to build back up. And he got the better of the grappling against Farid Bashara in a split decision that I did not agree with. I think that John Matsumoto should be 5-1 in the UFC. Bekzat, it's a little sketchy to me picking against the guys from this part of the world and the visiting fighters, but I think Matsumoto's better. I think his grappling is improved. I don't mind him at minus 152. That's where I would go for a bet on this fight if you made me. Overall, though, it's another start of the card, DraftKings pass on DK. Plenty of good fights to come. Don't think you really need to mess with this one. Again, though, you make me pick while I'm picking Matsumoto to win the fight. I would say Bekzat's probably the stronger DK play at the slightly underdog salary, and his paths to victory likely score more. I just think Matsumoto's paths to victory are much more likely, and that's why the line movement has gone that way as well throughout the week. Daniil Donchenko taking on Theodor Berggren, whose name I keep almost fucking up, but I think we got it there. Berggren, one of the biggest favorites in the card. Donchenko's minus 460 and 9,400 on DraftKings. Berggren plus 360, 6,800 on DraftKings. Minus 400. Fight ends inside the distance. We got a big one, Monk. Where are you going?
Yeah, I got to stick with Daniil Donchenko here. Off to a good UFC start. Looks like ran through Cezinando in the first round. 8-10 strikes, got taken down, but ended up with just as much control time as his opponent and ended up finding the knockout. Then Alex Morono, was that the fight that had to be the fight where Donchenko basically murdered him in the first round and Morono survived? And then he basically murdered him in the second round and Morono survived. And then he landed 100 of the most, the best strikes, on Morono that we've seen in a while, and got a ton of points there. So that was very nice. We love to see that from Donchenko, and that was decent opposition.
Down in 100 strikes in 3 rounds.
Yeah, that was against decent opposition. I mean, Morono, he's probably a 50-50 fighter as far as record and whatnot, and he's getting a little older, but he's not exactly a gatekeeper. But he's no scrub either for the most part. So that was a good thing. I like Donchenko here. I don't know what Berggren's going to do here. I got no stats for him, but I know he has 8 finishes in 8 wins, and he's been finished twice. He's been finished once in his 3 losses. So, he got subbed out there. Donchenko tends to look for the KO, has a couple subs himself. I just like Donchenko a lot here.
Yeah, you have to like Donchenko just based on the odds altogether. Berggren, it's been an FCR, it's a European promotion, Cage Warriors, UK promotion, fought okay competition. They were building him correctly, I think. Like he fought kind of lower competition, building his way up, and I think he's getting a call to the UFC a little bit early here. He is taking this fight on short notice in Europe. This is the one that I believe it was the Gustafsson had to pull out for the heart issues, so wish him well. Obviously, never nothing you ever want to see there. I think it's a little bit too soon for Berggren. The skills are probably there. Maybe he comes and shows out. I think there are other dogs that I want none of in terms of this range. I actually think he's a little bit live, and I want to mix him in on DraftKings. I wouldn't pay the juice on Donchenko. While I do think he wins, he's so aggressive. He's so full of action. I do like him to win, but Berggren is live because of the defensive issues I do see in Donchenko that I think are going to haunt him eventually. I think the better play in this fight, ITD is minus 400. That's a lot. Go look at the under 1.5 round prop. I think that's probably decent. If you want to get real crazy, again, the under half a round prop at plus 300 for that 10th of a unit stab we've hit a couple times. I think this is probably the fight for that, because this and Yakhyaev, honestly, you could probably play a little bit on both, and one of them will probably hit. So I like the under in this fight, and I will take Daniil Donchenko, but I will mix in a little bit of Berggren in your mass multi-enters over on DraftKings. That's just with the juice. I think that's how we have to play this fight. Javier Reyes taking on Kaan Ofli. Kaan, Ofli. Javier Reyes is minus 182, 8,500 on DraftKings. Ofli plus 157, 7,700 on DraftKings. Fight ends at the distance is minus 140. Monk, who you got?
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats. I mean, I got to go back and watch this Yijia fight with Ofli, because on paper, he got worked over. Kaan Ofli did. Like, he got 20, he lost the strike differential, minus 20. He got taken down 3 times. He went 0 for 7 on takedowns, had a little more control time, but I don't know. I got to go back and watch that one. Beats Ricardo Hama.
Really what it came down to, the first round was razor close. Nothing happened. Probably give it to Kaan. Actually, you have to, because he had some control time in there. The second round, Yijia got a knockdown and outstruck him.
Oh yeah, that was other thing.
Third round, it was 18 to 15 in strikes. Yijia got 2 takedowns, but only 34 seconds to control time, and somehow all 3 judges scored it for. No, that was a.
It was majority decision
because somebody gave Yijia 10-8.
Draw. Yeah. Jesus. Hey, you lose a fight where you get a 10-8, bro. Ricardo Ramos before that. I mean, that guy, who knows what he might sub you in a minute, or he's going to get subbed in a minute. There's no in between. He loses to Naimov Santos. Javier Reyes, I liked what he, looked like against Douglas Silva de Andrade, but that guy was like 40 years old at the time. Not the best, clearly well past his prime. But Reyes has a ton of experience, and that's what I really like here. I'm going to pick him to win. He's got 19 finishes and 23 wins. He has been finished 3 times himself in his 5 losses, but he's fought some decent competition. He's fought in LFA as well, a couple fights in a row. Lance Loris and Makate. He's also fought Larry and Douglas, who I believe also just fought in the UFC earlier this year or late last year. I don't remember. So he's fought good opponents, and Ofli, like you say, I just don't trust him, man. His offense statistically is dog shit. His defense is worse. And yeah, I got to go with Reyes here.
How do you really feel, Monk?
Oh,
no,
awfully. I like that.
I'm pretty much with you. Minus 182 too at 8,500. I think that line's going to get steamed up too. I think he's a really safe DraftKings play. I think the minus 140 ITD prop is actually where the value is in this fight, though, as the line gets steamed. Javier Reyes, I think, is one of my sneakier plays in the card. He's got his he finished Douglas Silva de Andrade, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yep.
Won by KO on the Contender Series. I see tons of holes in Kaan Ofli. I think I need to go upgrade Javier Reyes on my sheet the more I think about it. I'm going to upgrade the fight. I have it only at 2 stars because there were so many giant ITD lines on this card.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's sneaky. 8,500 is a good price. I think you get a little bit of value here. So yeah, give me Javier Reyes, and it really is a big fade on Kaan Ofli. If he continues to prove me wrong, he's going to become somebody I hate real quick. But I just don't see it, man. I think Javier Reyes is a good prospect. That is where I want to go for sure. Nursultan Ruziboev taking on Andrey Pulyaev. Another fight should be higher in the card, frankly. But okay. Ruziboev is minus 210. Pulyaev is plus 180. Ruziboev 8,800 on DraftKings. Pulyaev is 7,400. Fight ends at the distance is minus 180. Bunk, who you got?
Yeah, I think I like Ruziboev here. I feel like I'm picking a lot of favorites. I'm going to have a dog or two. Yeah, for sure. It looks like. I like Ruziboev here. The Stoltzfus fight was close, but I think people undervalued how well matched up Stoltzfus was in that one, and he just performed very well. Not saying that Ruziboev couldn't stop him. I'm just saying like that was a decent matchup. Because Ruziboev, while he has a few UFC knockouts and he has several knockouts overall, and his striking is decent, it's okay. He lands with power. He's not the most volume. People forget because he has no submissions and he hardly ever throws takedowns. This guy has 20 submission wins on his record. I know some of those are probably not against the best competition, but some of them probably are against decent. And his takedown defense is not great, but he is, constantly throwing subs, about a quarter of a submission attempt per 5 minutes, which is a lot. And he's getting, he can always trap you there. And Pulyaev, if he messes up at all, because he hasn't thrown many takedowns in his last 2, but he attempted 4 against CLD and he attempted 2 against Liam Anderson in the DWCS. I'm scared that if he attempts that against Ruziboev could snatch something up or just kind of reverse position. I think he's going to be the bigger fighter here, actually just barely as far as height goes, but I just think he has more of a skill set than Pulyaev. I just need to see more of it from Pulyaev, and I think his offense is going to be stifled by Ruziboev overall.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, except Ruziboev, I think defensively leaves some issues and is a big ITD prop. I think I had the wrong picture for Javier Reyes before, didn't I? Oh well.
Oh yeah, I was wondering.
Same picture. Yeah, I totally did. So I'm still gonna leave a nasty comment, guys. I'm still honing in this process to create these graphics, and yes, I'm having AI help me because God help me, I don't have that much free time. So we're gonna get those ironed out. Apologies for that. Somebody typed the angry comment. We'll get there. That being said, I do think Ruziboev is the better, more explosive fighter, but he leaves openings, so Ruziboev is the pick. Andrey Pulyaev is live for DraftKings at 7,400. I don't like this one for betting. There's not a bet on this fight that I really like. I do think Ruziboev wins. I don't want to pay that juice. It's juiced right for the ITD line. There's no crazy props I want to take on it. It's one of those I'm not going to bet on it in DraftKings. I want to be overweight to both guys, but it's just shy of that all-in area because Ruziboev is not very high volume. There are plenty of paths where he doesn't score great first round. They kind of feel each other out, no big shots, and then something big happens later. Could totally happen. Not the most likely path, but it's not an all-in fight. Nursultan Ruziboev is the pick, though. And agree with Monk, there are some dogs coming, just haven't got there yet. And we're not going to get to an underdog play I like quite yet, because this is Abdulrakhman Yakhyaev taking on Julius Juicebox Walker. Yakhyaev is minus 600 and 9,500 on DraftKings, most expensive fighter. Walker is plus 425, 6,700. ITD line, minus 600. Yakhyaev, they are building a star right. They are building that highlight reel. Monk, who you got, dare I ask?
Well, I won't babble on as long about this one. I got to go with, ARY, we can't really call him that. Yakhyaev, we like that a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to go with Abdulrakhman Yakhyaev here. Julius Walker has lost to Menafield Jacoby, which aren't the worst names to lose to, especially Jacoby. He's only beaten Rafael Cercaria, who we've talked about as being towards the bottom of the roster here. And Yakhyaev dispatched him, Geeks MMA math dispatched him in 30 seconds, and Walker took had a decision. Blah blah blah. Walker is not good. Walker is not good. I like Yakhyaev here. He's not even like I think he's the most expensive fighter. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I don't know. My self promise at the beginning of the year, I don't play the most expensive fighter in my cash game lineup. That's going to be tough to not do this week for sure. But
you just must.
I think I'm going to have to just like close my eyes and click it here. So yeah, Yakhyaev, and he's not 9,900. Let's go. Also, Walker's been finished actually he's only been finished once. Let's make it twice here.
I don't really have much to add to this fight. I don't think super highly of Julius Walker. He got a win last time out, right? It was
2 fights ago he beat
2 fights ago against Rafael Cercaria, which look, it's Yakhyaev all day. Just play him. I'm gonna fade Walker. Yakhyaev's better. It's a matter of how fast. First round, first minute bonus, firmly in play. 9,500 load up. Like there's just I don't want to talk this one to death. Yakhyaev's the play. He's better. Eric Nolan taking on Farman Hassanov.
Sorry, that's not Eric Nolan either.
It is not. Thank you. That is Michal Oleksiejczuk on the pictures. Man, I got to double check these much better. I named them all correct and everything. Yikes. Well, amateur hour up in here. Don't worry, guys. I am out. The numbers are correct, though. Hassanov is minus 177. Nolan is plus 152. Hassanov is 8,600 on DraftKings. Nolan is 7,600. Fight ends at the distance. We got a good one there at minus 215. Monk, ignore the pictures. Who you got?
Man, Hassanov only has 5 fights. Okay, he's the favorite, rightfully or not. I'm not sure. Probably not, because he only has 5 fights. And Eric Nolan, he's only who am I thinking? Yeah, he's only got 1 UFC fight. It was against very tough competition. He was a plus 750 underdog there. So Nolan's going to have a lot to prove here. I wouldn't exactly call this a get right or a gimme fight by any means. Clearly, he's the underdog, and he's got some things to work on.
Nolan, just so we all remember, he's the one who came in on like 6 days' notice to take on Baisangor Susurkayev.
Yes,
that was the big Dana White Contender Series thing, and totally put his I think won the first round. I think we all agree there, and he did get finished late, but Eric Nolan showed out.
He did on short notice there, and Susurkayev is I believe still undefeated, and I believe he's at least in the UFC for sure. So yeah, I've got to go with Nolan here. I got to see what Hassanov is working with skill wise, but he again LFA 3 fights in a row. He's had 5 fights, guys. He's been in the LFA for 3 of them, and decision, round 2 KO, and round 1 doctor stoppage in his favor. So this is an interesting fight, and I would play both sides of this.
Yeah, it is interesting in that you want to say, 5-0 guy. He's also from Azerbaijan, which is why he's on this card. You want to go, okay, we're going to fade this guy, right? And you look, and he's like, he's not been European can crushing.
Right.
He's been in LFA with decent competition, been built right. Even I think as an amateur,
where's he trained?
He got head kicked in Gamma, which
he's at ATT. according to Tapology.
But he is from he's fighting out of Azerbaijan. By the way, Nolan, that fight was up a weight class at middleweight against Yakhyaev, back down at welterweight here. I'm going to go ahead and take a stab on Eric Nolan. This is the first dog I'm going to pick as well. A little more experience. Really liked how he showed out. Hassanov, though, totally alive for a finish. I do like this one to finish. I want to be overweight on DraftKings. Overweight in the mid-range. There are some other fights we've already talked about to be under on. This is not one of them, but I'm going to take the shot on Eric Nolan. Don't mind a small stab as well at plus 150-ish. Like that play. Just looks a little bit cleaner on the feet, a little more experience. Hassanov probably a little more explosive. So close. Probably, I think this fight should be a pick'em, quite honestly. But I'll take the stab on Nolan. Hey, the pictures are right if you're watching on YouTube. It is Abus Magomedov taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk. Line moved a little bit towards Michal. More line movement here. He's minus 113, but 7,900 on DraftKings. I need to double check that salary. Abus Magomedov is minus 107 and 8,300 on DraftKings. I feel like I've already said that salary on this show.
There's two of them.
Though. No. They double priced, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. DraftKings double price this week. My mistake, guys.
I think it's Nascimento. I think it's Nascimento. Abdullaev.
I knew I said those salaries before. Fight ends inside the distance is minus 325. This is absolutely one to load up on in the mid-range. Really, the mid-range fights, you want to do a quick breakdown of the mid-range fights, which is like probably 8,600 and under. You have the last one in Nolan, go above average. Reyes and Ofli, one side you want to play. Well, I want to play. Nascimento and Almakhan, you're probably under on. This fight in the main, you're over. And then Abdullaev and Nascimento, you're under. So it's like half and half, over, under, over, under. And that's how you should be building and balancing on DraftKings. Enough about this fight. I actually have an inch. Well, go ahead, Monk. You go first for this one. Who you got?
This is tough because I'm an Oleksiejczuk fan. I don't know why I like this guy. More people should be, to be quite honest, if they're all about, KOs and whatnot, because he went on a run, right? He went on a run and then he lost to Kyle Bahayo, who took him down three times and outstruck him. And subsequently, Oleksiejczuk went and trained at Fighting Nerds. So then he beats Sheedy, loses to Michal, loses to Holland, loses to Shara, and some of those are not great. Beats Dumas, Mearshart, and MAB, and I just kind of like where he's at now. Now, not since Kaio, only one fighter's attempted takedowns against him. Now, that's partly because his fights don't last very long generally, but also I've seen people try to shoot. It's not counted, but he kind of deflects him a little bit. I think he's going to run into a problem here with Abus Magomedov, unfortunately, because Abus is a decent striker. He is very good at takedowns, and he's got very good control time. He's got knockouts. He's got submissions, 14 knockouts and 7 subs on his record, by the way. Oleksiejczuk, a bit more one-sided, if you want to say that, 16 KOs on his. So Oleksiejczuk needs an early KO to beat Magomedov, and that hasn't really happened against Magomedov. Who's he lost to? Pfeiffer, who took him, looks like didn't take him down, tried 4 times, loses to Bahayo, loses to Sean Strickland. I don't think Oleksiejczuk is like any of those guys, really, and he might have a problem here. So, man, target this one on DraftKings. I'm going to probably, even though all the things I said, I'm going to pick Michal Oleksiejczuk, but this is a close fight. And I'm going to
everything I just said.
I'm going to have a shitload of Magomedov here just because I don't know what he's going to do. He's frustrating to play in DraftKings because sometimes he'll score 140 points and sometimes he'll score 40 and win or lose. And it's just like, you don't know if he's going to shoot takedowns all the time. You don't know if he's going to land with pat. You just don't know. So yeah, great fight though. Should be very competitive.
I'm going to lean toward Abus Magomedov, but I was going to say in terms of DraftKings, I think it's pretty straightforward. The reason you mentioned, I think it is a coin flip fight. I think Abus can get takedowns and grapple and score big and finish Michal, or if Michal can land something big or drag this fight into deep water, I think Michal wins. So DraftKings, I think both guys can score great. I'm going to split it up. I lean towards Abus. I think the first outcome is more likely. But I think the best bet on this fight is actually it's a live betting spot. If Michal survives the first round, or it's even close in the first round, then you live bet Oleksiejczuk.
Yes.
I think Abus will fall off of a fucking cliff unless he's laying on top of Michal the whole time. So that may not happen because this fight could end in the first 2.5 minutes, and then my DraftKings exposure is going to have to be it. I'll lean towards Abus for the pick, but I think it's the live bet spot where you live bet Oleksiejczuk if it's any kind of decently close fight at that start of the second round. You could probably bet, I would have to go look at the line. You could probably bet Magomedov. You could bet Oleksiejczuk scorecards, no action. Like if it, no, I think I flipped that. Magomedov scorecards, no action. I don't think that this fight, if a fight goes all 3 rounds, I think Abus probably has won the fight. I think then the grappling happened and he laid on him. I think if we get all 3 rounds, it's a Magomedov fight. It's a strange one because I think if he did not get takedowns early, Oleksiejczuk is just going to run him over in rounds 2 and 3. So yeah. That's the breakdown for what it's worth. And most importantly for the DraftKings players, just be overweight to this one. Moving on, we got Bruno Ferreira taking on Ikram Aliskerov. Aliskerov is minus 275, 9,100 on DK. Ferreira plus 235, 7,100 on DK. Fight ends inside the distance is minus 400. Ferreira to get poked in the eye is minus 700 because that's what happens to him. Fucking nobody's got worse luck than him. Monk, who you got? That should be a real line, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. To not get poked is yeah. Minus 6,000 and not get poked. I don't see how I can not pick Aliskerov here to use like triple negative. Who does Bruno Ferreira lose to? Gregory Rodriguez, Abus Magomedov, Nursultan, Ruziboev. We already talked about 2 of those, so you should know their style is heavy striking for sure, but also they can mix in the wrestling / jiu-jitsu basically whenever they want, and if they feel they need to or don't, they can just pick and choose. That is who Bruno Ferreira loses to. This line is probably not wide enough. You could probably throw, no, I'm not gonna. That's just, I hate parlays, but I was gonna say you could probably get sneaky and throw Aliskerov in some parlay. I just don't see how he's going to.
No, I think he's a viable parlay piece.
I don't see how he's going to lose this fight, to be quite honest. I mean, he lands over a takedown per 5. He controls 95% of all the control time he's been in. And yes, he eats volume at 5.5 per minute at a 41% striking defense. Terrible. But he lands almost 7 strikes a minute at a 65% striking offense, which is incredible. So, yeah, there's got to be a little balance there. Also, it should be known, Ferreira has lost to 3 decent fighters. Yes. Aliskerov's lost to 1 fighter, and his name's Robert Whitaker. So, yeah, that's just strength of schedule right there. Both guys have a decent one, but Whitaker clearly the best fighter that either of these guys has fought. So I like Aliskerov here a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. Clearly, I like Aliskerov. I think Bruno Ferreira does not take damage well. I think Aliskerov, his loss was to Robert Whitaker, when I think he got pushed a little bit too fast, too soon.
Yes.
Good learning experience for him. I think he's a core play. I just think he's better everywhere. He can finish guys. If he needs to wrestle, I think he'll have the wrestling advantage as well. I think he's better everywhere than Ferreira. This is a parlay piece for me, and it is probably price per dollar my favorite play on DraftKings. Give me Ikram Aliskerov.
Hell yeah.
Asu Almabayev taking on, that is clearly not Charles Johnson. So I need to double check these way closer because Charles Johnson, I remember his picture. It was fucking crazy ass mullet. So guys, I will hone in the graphics. I promise. Man, I need some staff here to help. I
think Charles Johnson is Asu Almabayev. And I think Asu Almabayev might be Mateus Camillo. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yep. I believe you are correct. Let's flip ahead to Camilo. And Camilo is, oh my God. This is Michel Pereira. Is the fucking. Oh my God. At least that's. All right, bear with me, guys. We're going to rein in these graphics. This is a mess. No, I clearly did not check them. Real life work got in the way at some point.
This is the what do they call it? The run through before the rehearsal before UFC
next pay per view. It's the
yeah,
dress rehearsal that we're posting. So a little embarrassing, but we're going to go ahead and move on here. Almakhan is minus 250. Charles Johnson, who's now Asian apparently, is plus 210. Almakhan is 8,900. Johnson is 7,300. Fight ends at the distance, plus 160. Should see all 3 rounds, and that is why most of the time Monk would be like, well, we're going to pass on this one. Au contraire, my friend, because I don't know about you. Spoiler alert, I'm taking the dog whose picture I can't even get right, apparently. Who are you taking in this fight?
The dog is the best DraftKings play between them, for sure. I mean, he's 7,300. And he's averaging 86.5, but it really doesn't matter at that price because he's made the optimal 4 times in 8 wins. His opponent has also made the optimal twice in his losses. That said, I am going to, so I do think he's a good play, even though I'm going to pick his opponent to win here in Almakhan. Charles Johnson just gives up. He allows too many takedowns, and that can become a problem if the guy who's taking him down knows what he's doing as far as control time, because Johnson just gets up. Like, he does that quite a bit. In round 1, he gives up less than a takedown per 5, just under. Round 2, it's the same thing. Round 3, it's 1.19 per 5 minutes, which is not good when you're facing Asu Almakhan, who averages 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1.3 in the third. And he's getting over 2 minutes of control time, almost 3 minutes in that third round in every single round. His defense is fantastic so far. He allows 2 strikes a minute. So that's going to be a problem. If Johnson cannot land some of that higher volume that he has at 4.7, he's going to have an issue here. And he gets controlled. He controls only 20% of the control time. Takedown defense is okay, average at about 70. You'd like to see it higher, but that's okay. But usually not against Almakhan. So if he has the control time advantage over Johnson, which I assume he does, I like Almakhan here by decision.
He's the control time advantage, but I do think Charles Johnson is going to get up. He's durable. He can get up a bunch, and I think Asu Almakhan is going to wear down over time. Cash games, you have to play Charles Johnson, I think, plus 160, all 3 rounds, 7,300, lock him in. But I do think he's live for all those reasons. Almakhan, there's other guys in the card, I think, with more upside. I know he could get the rinse and repeat takedowns. It's there, but I'm just not totally sold. Charles Johnson's also pissed about the new meta rankings where he fell 10 spots, or something like that. I don't necessarily disagree, by the way. Yeah, he beat the champion, but he's lost other fights along the way, which he, left out of his anger explanation. But I get it. I understand. But I think he's going to be out to make a point. I do think he gets this win here. 7,300 plus 210. I'm on the side of Charles Johnson. Yeah, go ahead. And that is probably, spoiler, going to be my kill shot on the card because I don't think many people are going to play him. Give me Charles Johnson. Nazim Sadikov, who that is clearly not. Mateus Camilo, also who that is clearly not. If you're watching on YouTube, this fight is a disaster. Minus 220 for Sadikov, 9,000 on DraftKings. Camilo's plus 185, 7,200 on DraftKings. Now we're getting to those fights where I said a lot of high into the distance prop fights. Minus 200 overall. Monk, where are you going?
I think this is tough. All right, Camilo, I don't really like what I've seen. Just very, very low volume. I mean, he did exactly what he's supposed to do against Borshchev. Take him down, and that's about all he did. We could have seen, he landed 5 of 10 and only 2.6 significant strikes per minute. If he lands non-significant strikes there, which his jiu-jitsu is clearly good, because we all remember what happened in the Gabe Green fight. He got his ass whooped for 7.5 minutes and then took Gabe's back and choked him out. So he only landed 13 strikes in that. He didn't need any more than that to get it done. So he's clearly decent on the ground, and he was going to dominate Borshchev. Where were all the non-significant strikes? Where you aren't worried about Borshchev getting up. You're not worried about him reversing position or getting you in a submission. Where was all of the effort, in the fight there? I mean, I'm glad he won, and he probably says that he gave effort, and I'm not a fighter, so I shouldn't talk like that. But for us DraftKings guys, we need, we want to see output. We want to see if Merab's going to take you down 5 out of 10 times, he's going to land 100 non-significant strikes, and he's going to score 120 points. And we didn't see that with Camilo. It was very frustrating. So I don't like his salary here. I mean, at 72, it's okay, but are you even going to get 72 points? I mean, he's averaging 78 is what he got in his win against Gabe. So possibly, but I like Sadikov. I just like his finishing potential. He's only been submitted once and it has not been in the UFC. I got to go with Sadikov here.
I agree with you. I wanted to pick Camilo because there's something about Sadikov that I just don't trust. I can't get it. Maybe because he's a little wild. There's something about him that just, the way he won the Terrence McKinney fight, by the way, still irks the shit out of me because he clearly grabbed the fence and there was a foul and
yeah,
so he was talking shit. But okay, like that. There's just something that bothers me. But I do think his output and his explosiveness are going to get him a win over Mateus Camilo. I do like this fight for DraftKings, but I do think Camilo is an option. He's somebody I'm going to mix in. Like, I don't want Bruno Ferreira. There's plenty of dogs I'm not interested in. Camilo's going to make the list of somebody I am mixing in. GPP fight only. You wanted me to bet on the side of this fight is probably the under 1.5 rounds. If the ITD is minus 200, I'll take a stab on this one finishing quicker than that. But overall, I do like Nazim Sadikov. Co-main event time. Shara Magomedov taking on Michal Pereira. Finally, my graphics are right again. Holy shit. Probably should stop pointing it out, but I'm embarrassed that happened. Magomedov is minus 400, 9,200 on DraftKings. Pereira's plus 300, 7,000 on DraftKings, minus 130 to end inside the distance. Monk, who you got?
Man, I think I've picked against Shara Magomedov in every fight, and that's the guy that I just pick against because I don't like him. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't like him.
You're a hater.
I'm a hater. That is true. That is true. Don't even get me wrong. Pirates, not none of them. Anybody with an eye patch. No, but I just don't like how I'm a DraftKings guy. And he scores like shit. You know what I mean? Like he somehow found his way onto the optimal against Petrosian, where he somehow broke 100 points. And then in his first fight against Brunno Silva, he only scored 97. But Tricoli, Oleksiejczuk, 18 against Page, but we knew that was going to be one of the lowest scoring fights of all time. And it was like what, 68 points, if that. MAB, he scored 71.
Anybody
so
with an eye patch?
Yeah, no, I kid. Both of my grandpas both had eye patches. How crazy is that?
So I think I know why, because you're a dick.
No, yeah, I probably poked them out probably. So no, but I actually I was kidding. I am quite fond of an eye patch. So but yeah, Michal Pereira, I don't know, man. This guy, he's all over the place. He ran through opponents like Fiallo and Price, and he beats Ponzinibbio, he beats Petrosky, Oleksiejczuk, great win. Pulyaev, then he loses to a very good fluffy Abus, loses to Daukus. All of those are two of them are finishes, and Daukus was in like a minute. And he beat Zach Reese. I don't know where this guy's at in his career, man. I got to go with Shara by decision. This is going to be a low-scoring fight. I don't really want to play either guy, but I'm going to play a little bit of both in case one of them, kind of probably not Magomedov's going to get finished. Pereira's been the one that's been getting finished, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to play a ton of Magomedov. He scores like shit, but I'll play some in case Michal is as untrustworthy as I think he is.
I don't like this fight for DraftKings. We went on a run of fights I really do like. This one I'm under on. I think Shara wins. I think it's striking base. He does not score well. Pretty much summed it up. Yeah, I'll play a little Pereira because he's somebody you referenced earlier. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what the fuck this guy's going to do. Like, yeah. He's hard. Another one that can show up and look like dog shit or show up and look like a future world champion. I have to lean towards Shara skill for skill. By the way, Shara Magomedov will only ever fight in places that are not the USA because he cannot get cleared with his eye.
Yeah.
He will never get cleared by an American commission ever. So that's why he's always on these cards, guys, just in case you're curious. That being said, I think it's that much more impressive he can do what he can do because he is a really slick striker. I think that's how he wins here, but not one I'm interested for DraftKings. If you wanted to make a bet on this fight, I would probably actually bet the goes to decision line, which is slightly plus money. Would be my favorite bet for this fight. Main event time. Before we talk about it, make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment what your favorite play of the card is. And if you're on the DFS Army, you want access to more picks, plays, strategies, other coaches' notes, optimizer tool, all the good stuff. Link is in the description. Make sure you go and check that out. That being said, we got Rafael Fiziev taking on Manuel Torres. It is a straight pick'em fight, minus 110 aside, 8,200 for Fiziev on DraftKings, 8,000 for Manuel Torres on DraftKings. Minus 500 fight ends by the distance, which means this is just, it's irrelevant that it's 5 rounds in terms of DraftKings. Monk, who you got?
This is such a sick main event. Like, so good. I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to pick Fiziev. I think. I just trust him a little bit more. Manny Torres, obviously known for his gazillion first round finishes. Whether he's only lost once, and it was in the UFC to Nacho Bahamondes. Great opponent, just a bad matchup for him. I mean, his style's really not going to work.
That was the Noche UFC card, right?
Yes, that style's really not going to work against a guy with that skill set and with that kind of reach, for sure.
That's Fiziev's skill set. That's what scares me.
Exactly. But Fiziev is not 6'6", he's 5'8", and his reach is only 71.5. So I think Torres is going to be able to get in on him a little bit easier, but at the same time, if he could have gotten in on Nacho, and that would have been one thing, but if he gets in on Fiziev's got like takedowns and control time and all that stuff. I just think he has I think he has more weapons, but I think Torres has the biggest weapon, if that makes sense. So Fiziev has been KO'd 3 times in his career. He's been KO'd 3 times in the UFC. And one was one of them was an injury. That would have been the Gamrot fight. The Hoofy fight, I mean, that dude looked good, and Fiziev, until he didn't. And Hoofy really stepped it up in that one. I was pleasantly surprised. I like both guys, but I'm a Hoofy fan, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. But Torres will also pleasantly surprise me. Yeah, that's true. Torres will also pleasantly surprise me if he wins this fight. I just think Fiziev has too many weapons. His striking defense is terrible. That should be noted. Fiziev, he allows almost 5 strikes a minute, and Torres hits with 7.5, basically. His striking defense also terrible. Nobody here has good defense except for Fiziev's wrestling defense. But yeah, I got to go with Fiziev here at home.
I'm with you pretty much all around. Give me Fiziev. It's close. Man, this is an all-in main event for me. With the way Manuel Torres fights,
kill or be killed.
All striking base, but it's kill or be killed. I'm hoping at these prices give you a little bit of flexibility in case it's the second round, because there is a slow start. I don't think there's going to be. I have to lean towards Fiziev ever so slightly for the pick because of that the stylistic match we see Manuel Torres. Like, this is what Fiziev wants. He wants a striking match. He's seen guys like this. It's got the experience. I lean that way, but it is a razor close fight. I will just ever so slightly lean towards Rafael Fiziev. I'll tell you that betting wise, I probably don't like this fight to bet on. If anything, I'd go back to the under. I'd find a crazy under 1.5 round prop. It's pick 'em, I think, correctly. It's too much juice on the ITD line. Again, you could find probably Torres scorecards no action, because if Torres wins, he's not going to go all 5 rounds. If Torres wins, it's by knockout. If it's 5 rounds, Fiziev has probably pieced him up. I don't think Fiziev can last 5 rounds. So that's another look. Torres scorecards no action. The more I say that, the more I really like that. I'm going to go look on some sites after we're done. So that's my read in this fight. Give me Fiziev as the overall pick, though, but in a very, very close fight. Don't go anywhere yet. We got to talk kill shots. Kill shot, if you don't know, it is an under-owned play that can help you win a GPP. No main events, no chalk. I gave you mine already. Spoiled it. Charles Johnson, upset about the meta rankings, will go an upset on the road. Was it Asu Almakhan? God, all the names on together. It sounds really racist, I know, but it is Asu Almakhan. So I didn't need the preamble. That is my kill shot. Monk, you got one teed up for us?
I do. I don't know if it'll be allowed. We'll see what you say. It is an underdog. He is fighting a newcomer. Not sure how many people are going to be playing him because there's so many inside the distance lines this week. I was thinking Eric Nolan over Hassanov. It's pretty close. If not, I was going to take it.
Well, I like the pick. I picked him too. We'll allow it.
Honestly, if not, I was going to take a stab on a newcomer in Nascimento, who is the betting underdog or the DraftKings underdog. But
Yep.
yeah, if we're allowing Nolan, I'll take that one.
I agree with both of those. Monk, we got a game to go watch. You got anything before we get out of here?
Yes, we do. We've seen some stunners today. We've seen Ecuador beat Germany 2-1. That was amazing. And now we're going to see another stunner. We're going to see the U.S. first time ever, 3 wins in the group stage. I'm super excited. We got a week off next week. Early card for Baku at 9 a.m. Get your shit in on Friday night. And then we'll see you guys on the big Conor McGregor card.
Holloway versus McGregor 2 will be back. I'll get the graphics squared away. I assume that Geek will be with us for that one for the pay-per-view. So one more time, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Good luck in your contest. Monk, enjoy the game. You guys also enjoy the World Cup. Make sure you check it out. It has been a lot of fun. Good luck in those contests, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.